Howdy, folks. Welcome to this edition of Sticks-n-Stonez. You may tell I'm not my normal joyous self, but anyway, I still wanted to come out and put a pairing together for you. I think I put together a pretty good one. It's going to be very kind of outside the lines. I'm having to shake something. That means something weird already. So I am pairing an Espresso Martini with a CAO Italia. Now you kind of understand the espresso part. So, cocktails. It's a 100 milliliter can, so it's really convenient. Keep them in your refrigerator anytime you want one. Don't have to worry about mixing all the stuff up. This particular offering is it contains espresso, vodka, and vanilla. It's actually 22% alcohol by volume, so 44 proof. So it's actually higher in proof than like some coconut rums. So I think the lowest I've seen on like coconut rums has been like 42 proof, and that's pretty small. I was going to see if I could actually. One thing I forgot to do before I jumped on was make sure I could pull myself up. Yep, there I am. All right. Just like being able to see myself. Not that I'm handsome or anything, but you know. All right. Now, you know, it's going to provide the rich, bold flavors of espresso. I did go ahead and doctor it up a little bit with some Kahlua vanilla, and then topped it with cold foam creamer. There's really going to be a lot more about the cigar today. I think that this will go well with that cigar. So the CAO Italia, the filler of this stick contains leaves from the, I had to have all these in my notes here, the Benevento region, which is between Rome and Naples. I'm not talking Naples, Florida. Rome, Italy, Naples, Italy. That's where it gets its name from. It is actually a wonderful place to grow some cigar leaves. This particular is a Habano seed that was imported from Cuba about 50 years ago or so. So it is a Benevento Cuban seed Habano. It's a lot. Now, this is a robusto. Their version of the robusto is 5 by 56, so it's a little bit fatter than your typical robusto. The wrapper is a Honduran Habano. The binder is from Honduras, and then the filler is a mix of this Italian Cuban seed Habano and also tobaccos from Nicaragua and Peru, which is something a little different. Anyway, visually, it does have quite a bit of sheen to it, although the construction just appears kind of rough and rustic, not rough in a bad way. It is a very, very dark chocolate brown. It's got tight but visible seams. Quite a bit of veining on it. You might be able to see some of the veining as the light shines on it just right. It is a very veiny and a kind of an oily wrapper. I do love the band, rather distinctive. They have a bunch of these different ones that they offer that like they have the America, and it's red, white, and blue and all that kind of stuff. They try to go with the flag of whatever country they're dealing with. And this particular that particular stick, it actually kind of has the feel sort of like the grocery paper, grocery sacks, the old days. They're kind of making a comeback. Everybody thought that plastic was going to save the environment, and then all of a sudden it didn't. And now they're going back to paper again. So, but anyway, and it does have a really large double cap. So very well put together. Let's go ahead and give it a smell. It has some really rich notes of like fresh earth, maybe even kind of bordering over into barnyard. There's a little bit of spice to it and some real kind of creamy leather, and I think some notes of cedar as well. So let's go ahead and give it a cut. And oh, don't ever do that when you're in a cigar shop. And then use their cutter. Yeah, that's not good. But my cutter, my no shoes bar and grill, so I can do what I want. I almost did it today. I was at the cigar shop and I went, ooh, whoop, because I didn't have my cutter with me. I almost did it, and that is just bad manners. I mean, seriously, would you want somebody else's spit on the cutter when you went to cut your cigar? You're like, I think I'll just bite it off. My my C car is not. There it went. All right, and that was a threefer. All right, cold draw. I get some really nice notes of dark chocolate. There's some sweetness in it, maybe just a touch of sweetness on the lips, but not much. Some fruitiness, kind of like stone fruits, maybe like some plums or maybe raisins, that kind of thing. There is a little bit of earthiness to it and a little bit of leather, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, of course, that's enough, right? All right, let's go ahead and fire this up. Sorry. That's a really good smoke. It's got some really great smoke production on it. I don't know if you're really catching it, but man, it produces a lot of smoke. And it's really a rich, thick smoke. I like that. Sorry, I've got basketball behind you there, so I keep watching the game. My Ags lost. That's one of the reasons why I'm pissed. I get some really good notes of coffee, which is kind of what I was expecting to get. That's why I use this pairing. Um, it's got a real nice kind of creamy sweetness to it and a little bit of cocoa. And then there's also like a hint of like fresh herbs, that kind of thing. All right, now we're going to try them together here. It's kind of a first for me. Can't blow that in the glass. Those do go pretty well together. I mean, you know, I must say, I think I did okay. Hang on here, I gotta send a message here real quick. Um, yeah, going live. This is what happens. Um, Trying to get dinner around. Mama took the Shetland pony to the park for a run. uh, you know, it's what happens in live TV, right? We'll see if this works. Uh, but anyway, it's a really great cigar. It does go well. It blends really nice with the flavors of in the espresso, along with the little extra Kahlua in there on the side and the sweet on top. There's really not a lot of you know how you have like salty and sweet. There's really not a lot of the more like saltier flavors. It is really more kind of a like sweet indulgence kind of thing. And you see people. I follow Rafael Nadal, who is he's the mastermind behind Aging Room, and he's always posting on his feeds him enjoying a cigar, you know, fairly early in the morning, uh, with a nice cappuccino or something like that. And I don't have that kind of time. I wish I did, but you know, I've never really thought about pairing coffee with cigars that much, but you know, so far it's working. But any cigar day is a good day, you know. Here, all right. It looks like somebody besides me is watching too. That's awesome. I love that. Always like to have people on. I don't want to see the next stream. I want to stay on this one. This guy's good. Not really, but you know, I try to be. All right. For whatever reason, I mean, I do this on my phone. I can't see chats, so like I'm watching myself here, but I can't see what's happening. So I'm one of my old phones. I have YouTube, and so I'll go over and watch myself live. And over there, I can see how many people's watching, and I can see if anybody makes comments. So I think I probably could have done a little better job on mixing, but that's not the cigar's fault. The cigar's going very well with it. Yeah, the other reason I'm like, you know, funky mood is I'm always in a funky mood before I have to go back into the office. Uh, and I got to go back in tomorrow. And now then they've changed up the whole thing. I mean, it's like nobody has any assigned seats, and you have to go on this website and book your seat, and you can book it out to a month out. And I'm not in all the time. I'm only in a few days. Pretty much everybody else is in all the time. So I have to try and figure out which days I have to make reservations for. Then I have to go find a reservation, that one that I can make. It's just a pain in the ass. That's what it boils down to. So, you know, uh, and I won't talk about where I work. Just talk about what a pain in the ass it is. Uh, put it this way: until the last few weeks, I was figuring on retiring in about, well, what's today? Like the 23rd, isn't it? Uh, 5 years, 10 months, 8 days. I'm not counting though. I'm really not counting now because this stuff is really pissing me off, and I can go and get a better job, making more money, and work from home all the time. So when I first moved to Dallas, I lived 10 blocks from the place I worked at. I walked. I could get there faster walking than I could trying to drive because it was in downtown. You know, it's just stoplight after stoplight. Since then, I have not had a commute that's been less than a 30-mile round trip, and generally have been between 50 and 60. round trip. Where I'm at now, the days I have to drive in, it takes me 55 minutes to get there and about an hour 10 to get home. I don't like the days I have to go in. But, you know, we all have our problems. $15 minutes. I'm going to try and get us to the halfway mark here. And it's burning really well. It does have, I've touched it up a couple of times. It's got a really big, you can see it there kind of with a light on it, a big whoppy jaw in it. And I've straightened it up twice and still doing it. So it's not affecting the burn. It doesn't look like it's the roll of the leaves inside. Sometimes you'll get a canoe or sometimes you'll have a big stem in it, but it doesn't look like anything like that. It just is what it is. So it hasn't affected the cigar in any way that I can tell. And if you are watching, thank you. I was in yesterday, I believe. So on yesterday? I mean, no. We had a baby shower yesterday. Our house is now the family house to have celebrations at. Our entire downstairs got destroyed in Winter Storm Uri a few years ago. And so we had to redo the downstairs. The only thing that didn't get affected was my office. Imagine that. You're like, no, I can't work. My office is all messed up. But so while we were at it, we were asking our contractor, we're like, hey, here in the kitchen, because we had to rip out all the cabinets, all that kind of stuff. And like, what if we wanted to move some stuff around? He's like, don't cost the same either way. Doesn't matter. What do you want to do? We're like, well, we would really like to put the microwave in the islands under the counter. And now we have one of those drawer slides out. You push the button and it opens up. You put the food in it, push the button and it closes again. We moved the ovens and put in double ovens. We moved the ovens and put in double ovens directly across from where they were. And now they're about 3 feet, roughly, from the cooktop. So you have, and then on the other side where the ovens were, is a big long counter. It's about 12 feet long, 10 feet, something like that, 12 feet. And under the counter, there's a wine fridge, an ice maker, and the dishwasher, and then the sinks. So you have this big long counter that's open to put stuff on. And then you got the ice maker, makes ice all the time. I need lots of ice. I use lots of ice. So it's made for entertaining. And we really did it, number one, because we thought it worked better that way. But also we're thinking, we've got 2 teenagers at home. They're going to be going off to college here in the next like 2.5 to 3.5 years. And we'll want to, downsize. And I could just envision a couple walking in with a real estate agent. The woman rounds that corner into the kitchen, and she can already envision her get-togethers. I'll be able to put this over here, and I'll be able to work with the oven and the cooktop at the same time without having to go back and forth. I can just see all that. This is the way business Sticks-n-Stonez is now. And then you got all the kind of hot food on that side with the ovens and the cooktop and everything. You got appetizers on the island, and you got all the drinks and desserts and all that stuff lined up on the other side. It just works really well. Kevin Hart, he's hilarious. If you haven't tried the TipTop proper cocktails, you need to. I'll give you a link for them. I'll post it out on X. They have the Espresso Martini is not the only thing they do. They do all kinds of pre-mixed cocktails in a can with the actual liquor, not malt liquor stuff like you buy at 7-Eleven. So like the Espresso Martinis made with vodka. They have old fashions, they have margaritas, they have Negronis, which I'd never had until then. It was really good. They have one called the Bee's Knees. It was pretty good. But I'll give you a link to it out there. It's there's some pretty cool stuff, and it's great just to if it's something that you like, uh, but you don't like having to go through all the ice and shaker and all that kind of stuff. You can keep the cans in your refrigerator. As you can tell, I mean, I have big hands, but they're not that big. But you know, and get a 4-pack of them, keep it in your refrigerator, and you can pop one anytime you want to. This was my last one. So, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do today, and I just opened this pack. I've got another pack, Nortinos, that I haven't opened yet. I want to open those. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do today, and I kind of got to looking at this Italia. And I'm like, I bet that Italian. I bet that would really go with like something espresso related. I thought about doing a Kahlua and cream, but I'm like, no, I want to step it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Of course, now you got the cold foam all around the outside of the glass, and I won't be all vulgar and gross with y'all watching and like lick the stuff out of the inside of the glass. But anyway, this is really, really good stick. I'm really taken aback. I mean, I know CAO makes some good sticks, but this is not like an expensive cigar. I mean, you can pick these up between $5 and $10. Once you get over $10, that's kind of my normal go-to cigars are somewhere between $10 and $15, or between, let's just say, $8 and $15. Well, I think once you get up to the upper teens and over into the 20s, now you're talking expensive cigars, which I've done a couple of those. I did the Opus X here a few days ago. I've done different Padrones several times that are in the $19 to $29 range. But this keeps up with any of those cigars, and it's still producing a really great amount of smoke. Yeah, you can see right there. I don't know why it's doing that, but it has continued to do it throughout. Maybe I need to talk to the people at CAO and find out. Is that on purpose, or does that just happen? An espresso martini is a good way to get your coffee and your espresso without drinking coffee or espresso hot. I mean, I'm not a hot drink person. I'll drink a little, cider in the wintertime, maybe a little hot tea if I'm not feeling good. Occasionally, very occasionally, maybe a hot coffee. If it's cold or whatever, I'll brew some coffee, put a little Kahlua in it, a little cold foam creamer on top of it, set in front of the fireplace. But I take coffee for my ride in on the days I have to go in the office. Well, actually, I drink it every day, but it's always iced coffee. I keep iced coffee in the refrigerator, and I have it every day because I like coffee. I just don't like it hot. And I can say, now this stick is really holding up well. The ash, we've got a good inch or so there, and it is not curling or looking like it's going to fall off or anything like that. I know at some point I'm going to have to go ahead and tap it off because it will inevitably will fall in my lap every time. You see those people that they'll show you, they'll hold up like a stick and it'll be ash all the way to the band. Yeah, that's not me. It will fall off in my lap every time. That kind of looked like it could have been an illegal screen, and he did lean into it. It's a good game, though. I'm watching Illinois and Kentucky. I don't think it's like the NFL or NBA. I don't think saying the name of the school will get me in trouble. I tell you, if my Aggies hadn't been going against uh, shit, Michigan with their 2 7-foot starters, they might have won that game. Because they did. They did play a really good game. Yeah, you just couldn't keep up. Uh, their starting center, who is a load, he's like 6'9", 255. And he's a great center. And then they have a guy that's like 6'10" or maybe 6'11", but you've got two legitimate 7-footers starting at Michigan, and they're both really good. So, yeah, it is what it is. Kind of used to it. It's the way it is with the Aggies. Doesn't matter if it's basketball, baseball, football. You know, we're always a day late and a dollar short. It was like the Aggies started the season at #1 in baseball. I don't even think they're ranked right now. Basketball, I'm not even sure if we made it to the dance last year. I don't know. I'm going to put a little Kahlua in here and hook it up with some cold foam creamer because I'm out. My Espresso Martini is gone, and that was the last one. So I'm having a Kahlua. I have to move my. I love this stuff. Now, I also will not do the very gross, like sucking the stuff off the end of it, and that's what she said. Because I have been known to do that. You know, like drinking milk out of the carton. I've been known to do that. Kahlua is not bad just by itself. I like it. I like Kahlua. It is a underrated liqueur. Well, you got two Illinois players on the ground, and I think they called a foul. I'm like, what did they call a foul on one Illinois player? Kentucky dude, he just ran right away from the ball. Holy cow, that was a collision. Yeah, and they called a foul on the two Illinois players laying on the floor. I could see some expletives coming out of the Illinois coach's mouth, and I could read that. All right, I tell you what, I know y'all got stuff you want to do. I think I am probably the only one left on here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you have the rest of your day back. But as we got to, you know, we're like right around the halfway mark. This is kind of a short cigar. So we're right around the halfway mark. And as we've gotten on, I mean, it could be some of the Kahlua and Espresso Martini, but I do think it's the stick as well. We've kind of gotten more. While we do still have the cocoa, it's kind of in the background, and more chocolate has come to the front. And you still got that sweetness, and there's also some caramel, whatever you call it, kind of there in the background. So these are really great cigars. They're very budget friendly. Generally, you can pick them up at like Thompson's and Famous and Cigars International in like 5-packs. You don't have to, you don't